Hello children, welcome back to our 8th social class. In the previous class children, I started the topic ancient civilization of a world. Regarding the topic, I told you when we are referring about the civilization, we are not only referring any one particular part of the civilization. We are entirely referring the word civilization. Word in the sense of places where civilization has been took place, that has been excavated, and that excavation was kept in front of us to study. So that reference we are referring here as a civilization. So as a regard, in the previous class we have done Egypt civilization, Egyptian civilization. It was very interesting, isn't it children? In that you have seen that what is mummy, pyramid, regarding the pyramid. Mainly when we refer about Egyptian civilization, the attracting or the central part of the civilization is pyramid. Yes or no children? So that pyramid attracts you most, and I hope that you have read that what is Egyptian civilization or what was in Egyptian civilization. You have read, and even I hope that while reading the civilization, few of you may feel it is interesting. And as you continue the part of the reading, you may kept your interest as it is an interesting topic, but few of you may felt it is a boring, isn't it children? You may felt it is a boring, but you may thinking how ma'am has came to know that we are bored with the topic. How? Tell me. Because previous in the sense before, when I taught the same topic to the students, they told me, ma'am, this is somewhat in the some way it is a interesting, and remaining part it is boring, or it is a tough to remember, or it is difficult to remember. So what I felt to make you easy, I want to make you the topic is easy so that you remember the civilization as a story. Is it clear children? Because see, the story which we read with interest, that story will remain in the mind forever. So here you may be see the few points I have written. You may be thinking why ma'am has written this earlier. So this is the way where you make a key notes, key point. If you make in kept that moment, you won't feel the topic is difficult. Isn't it children? Because you see, these points I have made and kept when I was reading, when I was preparing for your classes. I felt these are the points which are important so that I can narrate entire lesson to you. The same way you have to follow. I am not telling the same you write down, same you narrate. I am telling when you are reading a textbook children, the points which you felt that this point will remind me or it will revise me entire topic, that point you write and keep. It is not just a method of reading a civilization. This is a method of reading subject which is difficult to you, so that the point which you write, that entire it can summarize you. Clear children? So I hope whatever clues I am telling to you children, that you have followed. Okay? I hope that you will follow the instruction and you feel it and you will make the subject easy. I hope children you are following my instruction, and move on to the Mesopotamian civilization. You have seen Egyptian civilization. Now we are in another civilization, that is Mesopotamian civilization. Because we are in the topic that is ancient civilization of a world. So we are now in the second civilization, that is the Mesopotamian civilization. And I hope you remember that civilization is mainly born in particular places in the sense where the land is fertile. Because people are from the nomadic life, they are settled in a one particular place. They wanted the place where it is suitable for their living, and that such places such places should be fertile, and such places were made the birth of a civilization. So here Mesopotamia is not exceptional to that. Mesopotamia was not exceptional to that, because here Mesopotamia civilization was born because of the two rivers, that is Euphrates and Tigris. These are the two rivers which gave the birth of a Mesopotamian Mesopotamian civilization, because this is the two rivers. If one river flow, in the sense it is very fertile, whereas here the place or the Euphrates and Tigris made the land fertile. How? In the sense, assume that the meaning of Mesopotamia as Greek interpreted in the sense, assume here Euphrates and here Tigris. Clear, children? Just imagine it, I am telling. This is the Euphrates and Tigris, and in these between land is called as a Mesopotamia. Clear, children? So the Greek says that meaning of a Mesopotamia is the land between two rivers, or the land between two rivers. The Greek says that the meaning of Mesopotamia is the land between two rivers. Is it clear? Mesopotamia in the sense, the land between two rivers, which is Euphrates and Tigris, made this land as very much fertile, so that which is attracted the people, many people. Why it has attracted? See, as I told, this is the land between the two rivers which invited people for the cultivation. Many people came and settled over there, and they cultivated fruits, food grains, many such things, and it was prosperous. Because when the land is fertile, whatever you will yield in that, it will come like a gold. Isn't it? Such fertility or the such prosperity of the land was attracted by northern hilly region and southern desert area. Is it clear, children? So these Mesopotamia was always kept in a controversy or the conflict, because see, when we have everything, when we have so much of a wealth, children, it will create jealous in the eyes of others. Isn't it? Yes or no? It is a common thing that the same way happened even in the history, that when the richness of a Mesopotamia or the fertility or the prosperity of the Mesopotamia has attract both northern side as well as the southern side of a Mesopotamia, northern hilly region and southern desert area, they always try to have control on Mesopotamia. So you should remember that. Always Mesopotamia was under the conflict. Conflict in the sense, both northern and southern side, they wanted to have supremacy on the Mesopotamia to get prosperous. So the civilization will refer about these conflict between northern and southern side. This is simple, children. That's why I am telling. That's why I made this flow chart, so that you remember. You remember the civilization as history or as a story, then it is easy to narrate. So this is clear. So there is a conflict between northern and southern part of the Mesopotamia to have a control on Mesopotamia. And here, in the introduction of our civilization, the historian has referred that Sumerian are the first. They introduced the systematic writing. Sumerian are the first one who introduced the systematic writing, that was called as a cuneiform. So that is a cuneiform. It is a systematic writing. It will come for a 1 mark question. Okay. Then you may thinking, who is this Sumerian in Mesopotamian civilization? Is it clear, children? You may having a doubt that who is this Sumerian. So keep it in the mind that Sumerian is, as I told, conflict between northern and southern part of the Mesopotamia. These Sumerian belongs to them. So on which part the Sumerian will come, that I will come in the coming point. So for you have to remember that when we are doing the civilization, they introduced the systematic writing. Especially the Sumerian has introduced the systematic writing, that was called as a cuneiform. It was a 1 mark question, remember. Okay. Then next, come on to the how the civilization has been divided, how it has been ruled. That I told, isn't it? The conflict between north and south. So here, look at the flow chart, children. Listen carefully. It may be a bit confusing. So the entire Mesopotamian civilization, in that southern part of the Mesopotamia was called as a Babylonia. Clear? So the southern part of the Mesopotamia was called as a Babylonia. In Babylonia, again in the south, northern part was called as a Akkad, and south side tribe were called as a Sumer. These are the Sumerians. Clear, children? Who are these? Yes. So I repeat once again. The civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, between these two valleys, between Euphrates and Tigris, the southern part of the Mesopotamia was called as a Babylonia. In the Babylonia, northern place was called as a Akkad, and the southern place was called as a Sumer, or they are called as a Sumerian. Clear? And Mesopotamian northern side, entire northern side was called as a Assyria. Clear? That you may pronounce as you are comfortable, but children, the spelling you have to be clear. Clear? So Babylonian and Assyrian, these you have to remember, because the conflict will come, the clashes will go between these tribes. It may be a Sumerian, it may be a Akkadian, or it may be between the Babylonian. Entire southern part was called as the Babylonian, and the northern part was called as the Assyrian. Clear? Assyria. You may call like that. So here, as I told, it was first the systematic writing was introduced by Sumerian. Later, it was followed by Babylonian, Persian, then other tribes. They even follow the same systematic writing. Clear, children? And now we are clear with who are the Babylonian and who are the Assyrians. Clear? Then what is a ziggurat? Next I have written here ziggurat. Ziggurat in the sense, in Mesopotamia, entire as a Mesopotamian civilization, they are worshipping in hilly region. As I told, the Mesopotamia were in a northern hilly region. So they were situated, or they located their worship of God in the highly places, so that the God was in a high position. So they used to go and worship there. Later on people moved to the southern parts, or when they shifted to plains, from hilly region to when they shifted to plains, they constructed ziggurat. When they moved from hilly region to plain region, they constructed ziggurat. Ziggurat, what is ziggurat? Ziggurat, in your textbook, a picture you may get. It is a building, or it is a construction where in middle a god or the worship of the idol has been kept, and to reach the center part, slope staircase has been created, like a slope. In this slope, staircase has been created. Such slope construction they were called as a ziggurat. Clear, children? From the plain region, in the plain region, they constructed ziggurat, which was a slope steps they have kept. It was a place of a worship. I can say ziggurat is a place of a worship. Ziggurat is mainly known for the structure, or the way of the construction was it made. It is not about what they will worship, nothing. It was I can say ziggurat is their architectural model. Clear, children? Then next move to the administration of the conflict, or how the civilization has came into it. As I told, the Mesopotamia is always led in the conflict between Babylonian and Assyrians. So as a part of that, the Mesopotamian civilization was ruled by these tribes. First, the Sumerian are the one who led, or one who ruled the Mesopotamian civilization. After that, it was next took up by the Akkadians. Who are these Akkadians? See, first it was Sumerian. In the sense, entire Mesopotamian civilization was ruled by Babylonian southern part. It is clear, children? civilization was ruled by Babylonian southern part tribe, that was Sumerian. Later on, Sumerian tribe was overpowered or overempowered by Akkadian. These Akkadians are Babylonian northern side. Then next comes Amuratis. Amuratis are another region or another tribe. They are from out of the civilization. You may have remembered that in the Egyptian civilization we have seen Arabian tribe, that was Hyksos. Remember, these are the Arabian shepherd tribe. They, by seeing the prosperity of the Egyptian civilization, they attacked the Egyptian civilization. Here also saying the Amuratis are the out of the civilization. They are the other tribe who are not belong to the civilization, Mesopotamian civilization. They not belong to Mesopotamian civilization, but still seeing the prosperity of the Mesopotamian civilization, they attacked the Akkadians and defeated the Akkadians and they ruled. And in the Amuratis, see Hammurabi name you may heard. Hammurabi is the famous popular ruler who ruled as a Amuratis tribe. On behalf of the Amuratis tribe, Hammurabi will rule, but notable thing in Hammurabi is he is a very capable king. He has not looted the wealth like Hyksos. You remember, right children, what the Hyksos has done? They looted the wealth of the Egypt. They cruelly treated the Egyptians so that Egyptian Jews has left the Egypt and they moved to the other part of the world. Whereas here Hammurabi has not looted the wealth of Mesopotamia. He settled in the Mesopotamia and he has given proper administration, loyal administration to the people of the Mesopotamia, and as a remark he has built palace in Babylonia. See, if he had an intention to loot the Mesopotamia, why he would have constructed palace in Babylonia, isn't it? So he had never intention of looting or spoiling the Mesopotamian civilization. He wanted to settle there forever. So that he has constructed palace in Babylonia as a memory of the rule. So that is the part. Then Hammurabi was, or the rule of or the successor of the Hammurabis were defeated by Hittites. Hittites. You may pronounce like it as you like. So easy you may pronounce it. See, Hittites. 3 syllables are there. 3 syllables. So Hittites. These are the next tribe, one who defeat the Hammurabis and they rule the Babylonia or the Mesopotamian civilization. Then again the Hittites was defeated or overthrown by the Assyrians. See, till now the rule of the northern Mesopotamia has not came. It was only ruled by Sumerian, then the Akkadian, then the external tribe which was Amuratis came. But now finally the northern side of the Mesopotamian civilization, that was Assyria, or the Assyrians came to rule the Mesopotamian civilization. Here in the rule of these Assyrians, middle one more external tribe like the Hammurabis tribe, Chaldean tribe came to attack the Assyrians, and these were defeated by the Chaldeans and they were ruling the Mesopotamian rule. Clear? Is it clear children how the ruling of the Mesopotamian civilization has been done? After the Assyrian, next Chaldean one who came to rule the Mesopotamian civilization. Like a Hammurabi, even they had given proper justice to the people of a civilization. And here remarkable one is that in the Chaldean, the Nebuchadnezzar or Nebuchadnezzar Nebuchadnezzar. This is a ZAR. Nebuchadnezzar. He is a person or he is an emperor. Nebuchadnezzar is a person, one who has given systematic study of a science. Clear? He has given systematic study of science. This you have to remember. Who has built the palace in Babylonia? One more question. It may come. Now, if you are having a habit of reading the textbook, then all such points you have to underline and keep, so that the points which will come for 1 mark student that I have written. So to make you clear. So here, who has built palace in Babylonia? That was Hammurabi. Then Nebuchadnezzar, he has given systematic study of a science. Then the last was Alexander. Clear? Who is Alexander? I hope you remember. In Egyptian civilization, we have seen that the Macedonia was, the Persia will become the part of Macedonia. In the sense, when Egyptian civilization were ruling, these Persian rulers were ruling the Egypt, then Alexander conquered that Persia. Remember? And he will make that Persia as a part of Macedonia. He will defeat. He has a desire to conquer entire world, and when he attacked the Egypt, he kept the one loyal ruler to rule the Egypt. Here also same, Alexander attacked the last tribe of the Chaldeans. He attacked this tribe and he kept his loyal administrator to look after this. And here you may observe that after the Alexander, Roman, they ruled the Egypt. And like they also have seen, Roman ruled both the Egypt as well as the Mesopotamia. Here also after the end of the Chaldees rule, the Alexander took the rule of Egypt. After the Alexander, again Roman conquered the Mesopotamian civilization. After the Roman, finally Turks. Clear? Finally Turks, one who occupied the civilization. When Turks occupy the Mesopotamian civilization, the end of a Mesopotamian civilization. Is it clear, children? Is it clear? See, I will summarize once again what is Mesopotamian civilization is. Mesopotamian civilization, which was divided as a southern side and northern side. Southern side was called as the Babylonian and northern side was called as the Assyria. And in the southern side, the first Mesopotamia civilization was ruled by Sumerian. Then next Sumerian was defeated by Akkadians. Akkadians was defeated by the Amorites. Amorites was defeated by in the Amorites, the famous ruler was Hammurabi. Then the Amorites was defeated by Hittites. Then again these Hittites were defeated by the Assyrian. Then Assyrian were defeated by the Chaldean. Then these Chaldean were defeated by the Alexander. Then Alexander and Rome. And finally the Turks, one who ruled and one who tried to occupy the Mesopotamian civilization. When Turks occupy the Mesopotamian civilization, there is the end of the Mesopotamian civilization. Children, I hope with this chart, the civilization, Mesopotamian civilization is clear to you. No matter that how you pronounce this name, but the thing is that the topic or the concept should be clear to you. So you have to practice the spelling of Sumerian, Akkadian, all the spelling you should mention and to which side they belongs to, whether they belongs to northern side or they belongs to southern side. That you must be clear. And whenever you are reading the lesson, whatever points come for 1 mark that you have to underline and keep. And if you make a flow chart like this, it is more easy to remember you even after the end of the lesson. Clear? Then the last topic in the lesson is Chinese civilization. See children, in the Chinese civilization, main thing is that the civilization which was born because of the river Huanghe. This is the river which gave the birth of a civilization, and even we call this river as a sorrow, river of sorrow. Why we will call it as a river of sorrow? See, river Huanghe, we will call it as a river of sorrow because this river which created problem to the people of civilization. How it may created the problem, children? River may create problem mainly because of causing a flood, inundation. So when it caused the flood, it has created disaster in the life of the people. The entire wealth or the property of the people has ruined because of the flood, and which make the land fertile into unfertile, in the sense the fertility which was available on the top of the land which has been took away by the river because of the flood. So that we will call it as a river of sorrow. And why this river has called it as a river of sorrow? This will come for 2 mark question, children, that you have to remember and you have to learn. Which river was called as a river of sorrow, and why it has called as a river of sorrow? Remember that. Then nothing more to learn about civilization. Here only is that we know that it may even called as a symbol of sorrow. And in Chinese civilization, first it was ruled by Shang dynasty. They had given systematic way of the administration, like either maybe a collecting a land revenue or giving a justice to the people. And even in Shang dynasty we can see that king used to donate the land to the peasant so that the peasant can cultivate in the land. After cultivating the land, they have to give the royalty or the return as a tax to the dynasty. That was we can see in the Shang dynasty. And the next comes as Zhou dynasty. They were follower of the Shang dynasty. The same what administration followed by the Shang dynasty was continued by the Zhou dynasty. That is the main we can see in the Chinese civilization. Even in Chinese civilization, children, we can know that they are known for their artistic work, their innovative things. So here during the time of excavation, historian has got many things in the sense writing, especially the writing of a Chinese they have found. Writing in a sense it was found in the form of a symbol. So that symbol were converted into ideographic script. Ideographic script in the sense, I guess whatever there in the form of a picture, that picture they had given the form of a script. Translated that picture into script. After translating that, they study the Chinese civilization. So children, here in Chinese civilization, there is no much to read except why the river is called as a symbol of sorrow. Then these 2 dynasty, how they ruled the civilization. So children, here we completed the lesson ancient civilization of a world, where we referred Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization and Chinese civilization, where I told you the mark or the question which cover in this lesson. So your duty is to read the lesson, make a short note on the lesson so that you can understand the topic and remember the topic. Children, I will meet you in the next class with a new topic.